What's up, everybody? This is Gabe Lancaster with True Agency Real Estate. If you watched my video last time, we talked about the last real estate crash in 2007, 2008. We looked at a graph that kind of showed how values went down but then steadily went back up, and talked about what worst case scenario looks like if we see another crash. If you watched my dad's video that he put out yesterday, Brad Lancaster, he put out a video predicting that we are going into a buyer's market.
Hey, I'm calling it. Right now in Utah, the numbers might not show it, but we are moving into a buyer's market.
So what I wanted to do was take a second today to look at the market and what's going on right now. So we're gonna look at some graphs, look at some data, a snapshot of what's going on today versus last year, and then kind of go over some tips and strategies if you are looking to buy or sell in today's market so that you can be the best prepared moving forward. Okay, so this video, I wanted to make this video for anyone that's hoping to buy or sell real estate in the next 6 months or so, because we are going to be looking very closely at what the market is doing right now. And as a buyer or a seller, it's very important that you get educated on what's happening in the market today. Last year in 2021, it was one of the craziest years we've seen in real estate, 2020 and 2021. Prices in Utah just kept going up, and up. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to compare today to last year, because there's still a lot of buyer hesitancy. I think there's still a lot of questions out there about, okay, what's happening? What am I to do if I am a buyer or I am a seller? So if we look at June 7th of 2021 across the entire state of Utah versus June 7th, 2022, there are some crazy differences that I want to point out. If you look at active listings across the state of Utah, there are more than double, right? That's math. Yeah. There are more than 2 times the amount of houses on the market today, June 7th, 2022, than there were last year in 2021. 2 times as many houses are available on the market. That's good if you're a buyer. To kind of compare that against under contracts, okay? So this is how many properties were listed and are currently under contract. They have someone who's submitted an offer, buyer and seller have agreed. So last year there were 2,700 listings active on the market, and there were 7,800 under contract. The absorption rate on that is crazy. That means that if the pace kept up at that point, we were gonna run out of houses so quickly, which was what created all of the demand, which was what created people submitting offers 50,000 over asking, 60,000 over asking. It was because there were way too many people buying houses and not nearly enough houses available. So the difference that we see today is that there are 5,816 houses available today on the MLS, and there are 7,004 under contract. So there are actually fewer properties under contract today than there were last year on this same day. What does that mean? That means the demand has actually gone down slightly. So simple supply and demand. Our supply is more than double what it was last year, and our demand is 10% lower than it was last year. What does that mean? With interest rates being up, demand being a little bit lower, supply being super high, that probably means that we're gonna see prices going down. So when my dad, Brad Lancaster, makes a prediction that we're going into a buyer's market, this is what he's looking at. He's looking at simple supply and demand. This is how many houses we have available. This is how many buyers are out there. Pretty simple, right? So this is just going even further into the data here. I wanted to show this because we've kind of been seeing this happening, this flow of, okay, there are more houses available and less going under contract for the last little while. This is active residential listings, okay? So this is active houses on the market. At the beginning of the year, we were still really low, which is why you were still seeing a lot of the same things. Prices are going up, houses are getting bid up pretty high. But as the year goes on, so the purple line is this year, 2022, orange line is last year, you can see that there are more and more houses active on the market this year, substantially more than last year. And this started happening, this started trending upwards like this back at the beginning of April, end of March. So comparing this graph to the last one we looked at, the last one was active listings on the market. This one is under contract listings on the market. So what this means is how many listings were active but have been entered into an agreement between buyer and seller. So in 2021, which is this orange line, we were seeing more houses under contract than we are today in 2022, and that's been trending that way for quite some time. We're seeing this divide because you can see that in the previous graph, 2022, there are more active listings, and in 2022 in under contract, there are fewer houses under contract. This has been a trend. This is not just a one-day snapshot. This is only happening today. This has been happening since the end of April. And I imagine as we go forward another 60, 90 days, we will continue to see this disparity between active listings and under contract listings, which means if you're a buyer, potentially good news. You are most likely not going to be competing against 10, 12, 15 offers anymore. You might just be competing against 2 or 3. You might not even be competing against any. If you're working with a really good real estate agent that's getting you into properties that you like and is getting offers submitted fast, there's a really good chance that you can get houses under contract right now for a pretty fair price. Probably close to asking price. Also, as a buyer, you're gonna have a lot more negotiation power. You're not going to have to put earnest money non-refundable upon acceptance. You're not gonna have to be coming with huge amounts of cash to be a gap between your appraisal and your purchase price. I think we're gonna see a lot of those things go away. So as a buyer, be smart, be aggressive, and make sure you've got an agent that's representing you to their best ability. You need agents that are good at negotiating right now, because sellers are going to be coming out of this market where they can demand anything they want. They can ask for whatever they want, and any buyer basically is victim to whatever the seller would like to do. It's not gonna be the case anymore, but sellers are still gonna have that attitude. They're gonna think that they're entitled to these high purchase prices, all these crazy things that we've kind of become accustomed to, and I just don't think we're gonna see it. So as a seller, I would again say, make sure you're doing a good job at, number one, pricing your home aggressively. You want as many buyers as possible to be looking at your home. And looking at the data here, there are more listings on the market, double the amount of listings on the market, which means you need to go above and beyond to make sure that people are seeing yours. It's not just a matter of put your house on the market and everybody's gonna see it. No, you need to make sure you're pricing it aggressively so that people see your property. You need to keep it clean. You need to follow good marketing strategies so that as many people are seeing it as possible. And in negotiations, I think sellers are gonna need to expect to be a little bit more flexible. So that wraps up my market update. I gave a few tips for buyers, a few tips for sellers. I wanted to get this out there so that you, as an everyday person who's not spending all their time in the real estate market analyzing deals, analyzing houses and things like that, could get a really good feel for where we're at. It's important to be educated in this process when you're deciding to buy or sell, and that's what True Agency is all about. So I challenge all of you watching this video to agree with me, disagree with me, tell me what you think. I'm curious. You have the same data that I'm looking at. I just showed it all to you. My prediction is that we are gonna see prices start going down and that there's gonna be some changes in the market, but I'm curious to hear what you have to say. So drop a comment, send me a message, give me a call, shoot me a text, whatever that looks like. I wanna talk to you. I wanna hear what you think about this. And if you are thinking of buying or selling in the next 6 months or so, I cannot stress the importance of working with an expert in real estate, working with someone who knows what they're doing. That's me. I'm confident that if you're gonna be buying or selling in the next 6 months, I'm the best person you could be working with. Give me a call, shoot me a text, whatever that looks like. Thanks for watching.